Toxic Sites with Matt the Welder. Kind of sounds like a Mike Rowe Dirty Jobs kind of show. Discovery Channel wouldn't want me though, because the corporate sponsors would eventually shut me up faster than an Epstein witness. Maybe your children's ailments could be explained because their school is built on top of one of these toxic sites, like the Brown Barge Middle School in Pensacola, Florida. In Florida, we build on these toxic sites all the time, and we don't tell the transplants either, like the Carver Square subdivision in Palm Beach County. Surely the EPA wouldn't lie to us, right?
The Environmental Protection Agency is supposed to be keeping our air and our water clean, not conducting surveillance and smear campaigns against independent scientists. And yet, in a News Nation exclusive, newly released emails show that is what was happening after the East Palestine train disaster in February of 2023. The target? An environmental scientist whose tests contradicted the EPA's narrative that there were no dangerous levels of toxins in the area. Rich McHugh has the latest for us.
At the EPA email show, the agency began collecting Smith's personal information, tracking his movements, distributing his whereabouts to more than 50 EPA employees.
So the EPA is telling us the site of East Palestine train derailment is safe. An independent scientist says it's not. And not only did they follow him around, they even had pictures of his dog. What?
They even circulated photos of his dog.
Some of these toxic sites are still in the process of becoming new houses, like the Sydney's phosphate mine turned Sydney sludge pond. That was where Hillsborough County government dumped 16 million gallons of oil in an unlined pond. Hillsborough County commissioners voted to put houses on this toxic site. They said it's going to need more testing, though, before houses could be put on there. But when I started pulling public records, I found the property owner's environmental consultant has been in contact with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection and the EPA. They're trying to remove the deed restrictions that the EPA put in place to keep the public safe. What's the worst that could go wrong? It's just houses. It's not like they have a farm inside the community where residents can go and pick vegetables and eat them that are grown on site.
Dover, Florida. 3,000 acres of former phosphate mining land, once just dirt and dreams, is about to level up. They're adding 1,200 homes in what's called a residential agrihood. Yeah, that's a neighborhood with a farm.
Oh, crap. They actually have a farm inside this community where residents can pick the vegetables that were grown there. How did they get the commissioners on board with this project? Well, let's take a look at the paper because they interviewed them. Chris Bowles said, "You know that old analogy about making chicken salad?" No, Chris, we don't. Now, these chicken salad loving commissioners could point to Love Canal, that houses have been built up there after the cleanup. Even the EPA says it's one of the most monitored sites in the country, maybe even on Earth. Well, residents who were swayed by cheap houses purchased them, are now suing because they're being contaminated, they said, from the same chemicals that contaminated people 34 years earlier. I warned people about these sites because I figured out a long time ago that local county commissioners in the state of Florida would approve a house for their mother on a toxic site if it meant expanding their tax base. I'm Matt the Welder, God bless America, and I really miss Johnny Cash.